All right, hey yo, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to your brothers out on the highways and byways pushing this truth with fear and sincerity. And Shalom to the whole elect. Shabbat Chalakar coming back at you with another video. And the wheat and the tares, right? This is a tear right here. I came across this video and today, since the scattering of the Israelites, right, you're going to have Israelites looking like so-called white people. You're going to have Israelites that look like Israelites but go back to Esau, Edom, or other nations where they were scattered, or the people, right? And a big tell is, Jacob and Esau, right? As in so-called white people, so-called black people. Like I said, you're going to have Israelites looking like Edomites and Edomites looking like Israelites, and vice versa, right? And the other nations as well. But this right here, we know Thomas Jefferson, being one of the presidents of the United States of America, Babylon the Great, was an Edomite. And you have a melanated, darker hue of a person, of an Edomite that looked like a Jake, right? That can pass for a Jake, because our people are different shades of brown, right? To the lightest, what they call red bone, to the darkest. And right here, this appears to be a Jake, but in reality, his great-great-grandfather, goes back to Thomas Jefferson, right? So that would make him a tear, right? As a matter of fact, let me pull this out real quick. Go to the book of Baruch, the first chapter, and the 13th verse. It says, "Pray for us also unto the Lord our power." It says, "For we have sinned against the Lord our power, and until this day the fury of the Lord and his wrath is not turned from us," right? We're still under the curses of Deuteronomy 28:15 on down, being called different names, being scattered, putting our hand to anything, and it's not working, just still under the curses, right? It says, "And ye shall read this book which we have sent unto you to make confession in the house of the Lord upon the feast and solemn days. And ye shall say to the Lord, our power belongeth righteousness, but unto us the confusion of faces, as it has come to pass this day unto them of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem," right? Confusion of faces. And that's going into people looking at you and being like, what the hell is that? I don't know what what to make of that. If you Israelites, or, we don't, by looking at you, we can't sit here and say that you go back to this or you go back to that. It's ultimately your spirit, right? It's your spirit that that lets us know. 1 John 4, or is it 4:1? Yeah, 1 John 4:1. It says, "Beloved," it says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of the Heavenly Father, which are because many false prophets are going out into the world," right? So you got to try every spirit, right? You can't just take it for face value. You got to actually listen to what comes out of their mouth. John 7:24, it says, "Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment." Let's get one more. 1 Samuel 16, I want to say, and 7. Yeah, 1 Samuel 16:7. "But the Lord Yahweh said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord Yahweh seeth not as man seeth. For a man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord Yahweh looketh upon the heart. And this was choosing David, right? David was not your typical, Israelite. Well, he was an Israelite, but he had a different mom of a different nation, right? And his brothers despised that. Some of his brothers despised that and didn't think, he was just a shepherd boy out there in the field tending to sheep, right? He wasn't tending, to a kingly order, right? But the Lord was telling Samuel, don't judge him by his appearance because he's short or he's just a kid, he's young, this is the man I'm choosing. So same thing when we encounter Israelites, people of a different nation, they might look like somebody else, but we try the heart. We look upon the spirit. We listen to what comes out of their mouth, just like you're about to listen to this Edomite.
Of the United States, Thomas Jefferson had more than one family.
We are the 7th great-grandchildren of Thomas Jefferson.
See, these look like Jake's, right? These look like Jake's, but these go back to Thomas Jefferson, an Edomite. It's an Edomite
And Sally Hemings.
I'm 8th generation descendant of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings.
I am the 4 times great-granddaughter of Thomas Jefferson.
I am the 4th great-granddaughter.
I'm the 4th great-grandson of Sally Hemings and Thomas Jefferson.
I'm a 9th generation descendant.
I'm the 5th great-grandson.
I'm the 5th great-granddaughter.
I am the 6th great-grandson of President Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. And now you know.
See, and these Edomites are proud. Look at the tares always stand tall, full of pride when fully grown. We always bow down when fully grown, right? Going into the parable of the wheat and the tares. Let's get Matthew 13 and 24, I believe. As a matter of fact, let me do this real quick so you can get the Matthew 24 or Matthew 13 and 24. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man that soweth good seed in his field. But while men slept, the enemy, Esau, the devil, came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So right now you're going to have, we join hand in hand, the wicked should not go unpunished. All right, you're going to have the righteous mixed along with the wicked in these times. It says, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From hence then have it tares? He said unto them, an enemy have done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou be that we go and rather them up? Right, it's on English, something else. But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles and burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. All right, and that's the wheat is the elect of the nation of Israel, right? Because the Lord is sifting the house of Israel right now, right? Amos 9 and 8. It says, Behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall perish or die by the sword, which say the earth shall not overtake nor prevent us. So the Lord is sifting the house of Israel right now, moving in tares and the wheat, right? And we know the tares are the undesirables, right? 2/3 of our nation and, the wicked, right? The wicked first, but 2/3 of our nation, the Israelites, right? They're going to catch the same death as the wicked, right? But the Israelites are going to come back in the kingdom of heaven, right? Through the elect of the nation of Israel. But nevertheless, the tares that's out here, right, are being basically put aside, when when those angels come to harvest this place and destroy this place, right, the wheat, right, are going to be able to withstand, right? They're going to be able to go through that fire and be able to be escaped. This is Deuteronomy 23 and verse 1. He that is wounded in the stones or have his privy member cut off shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Yeah, you cutting off your you cutting off your what's the name? You're tripping, man. You're tripping. Are you wounded right down there? Verse 2, it says, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, Yahweh. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Right? So a bastard being a woman, a Israelite woman laying down with a non-Israelite man and creating a bastard child. Bastard child of incest, right? Bastard shall be found in Ashdod. A illegitimate child, mixed population born of Jewish father and a heathen mother, or vice versa. And we know that's not according to the law. We know the man carries the seed, but being vice versa, if a heathen father and a Israelite mother get together, that is a bastard child. That's a bastard. Zara. So again, these, the harvest is coming, right? And we're not going to judge off appearance when we see you, but, the Lord is going to sort it out, right? Because there's a lot of people out here, man. And we know the Israelites should be out the sand of the sea, right? It's a lot of Israelites out here, but it's a lot of terrorists. I see every time, these jakes be on the internet talking, proud America and all that, I just call them terrorists, or they terror-minded, right? Selling out, cooning, right? For these Edomites, man, for the wicked. 2 Corinthians 10:7, do ye look on things that are the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself that he is Hamashiach, the anointed, let him of himself think this again, that he is, as he is Hamashiach, even so are we Hamashiach. So this is not about the outward appearance, right? It's about the inner man. And we're going to see. We're going to see when that day comes. So, that's all I had to say. Hope you was edified. Hope you got something out of the show.